interface. This is a very heavy interface. Like we can see here, there's a lot of stuff. So the easiest way to simplify your interface is just go to display and then go to where is it here? Where is it? Display? Windows? Work? No. Okay, UI elements. There you go. So Windows UI elements. The way I usually get through this is you just hold down spacebar and click on the right side, and you'll have that same menu just as a quick pop-up here. So here we can just turn off all the things that we don't need. So status line, that's this line up here. Honestly, the only thing I use the status line for is this one button right here, which allows me to turn off the selection of polygons on my scene. That's it. Everything else I don't use. So don't need that really. I usually set up a hotkey for that button, or if I don't have a hotkey, I'll just open and close it for when I do need to hit it. The shelf, that's this whole area right here. I don't use the shelf personally. Just close that off. Time slider as an animator, yes, we'll definitely need that. That's our whole timing thing. Range slider, that's where we set the range of our animation, which again, as an animator, good to have so we can narrow down the range or widen the range. Command line, that's where you can see the MEL script and the script editor. This is useful when you are having issues. If something's not working, you'll see errors there. That's where things will pop up and you can see, oh, something didn't activate, why. Very useful. Honestly, you don't really need to see it all the time unless something goes wrong. So I can just turn that off and bring it up when something comes up. Helpline. This is useful when you're starting out. It's at the very, very bottom here. You can't really see it. This just gives you a description of whatever tool that you're hovering over or what it does. Great at the beginning. At this point, I don't really need that. And since you guys can't even see it on stream, why have it on here? Toolbox, that's this left side menu. Honestly, never use this other than sometimes to hit this one button to change the layout to 2-panel, which you can always do just by going to panels, layouts, 2 panes side by side. Same thing. So don't really need that. Well, already our interface is way cleaner. Okay. But I have your troubleshooting process. I didn't see all of your troubleshooting process. You may have tried it already. Ooh, if you found the problem, I'd love to hear it, because then I could reset my old preferences and bring out all my custom scripts back in. The next thing here is you'll notice that we have our display and animation layers panel right here. And I'm going to turn off my webcam just for a bit, just so you can see this. You've got this whole region right here. Unless view keys always versus never. Yeah, I had tried that, unfortunately. So view keys. Yeah, I had tried active, always, and never. Yeah, I had tried that, unfortunately. So right here, unless you're using display layers, which allows you to hide certain groups of objects, or animation layers, which allows you to layer animations, which I do quite often, but I don't use it all the time. So why do I need to see it all the time? There's a quick way to hide this. Just drag it down, and then if you just keep dragging down, you'll see it pops away. To bring it back, just click and drag from the bottom. There it is. So you can just easily hide it there. And now you just get a super channel box, which is nice because now I can see all of my attributes and I never have to like scroll for anything. Oh, and Tauntaun, or Tonton, I'm actually going to be showing that right now. This is one of my favorite secret shortcuts that not many people realize, but I love. So we've simplified the interface already quite a bit. What else can we do? Well, we've got all of these menus: view, edit, whatever, view, shading, lighting, edit, view, select in all of these. You don't need to see those because if you get used to using the hotbox, which is just holding down the space bar in your viewport, look at that. Every window is right here. File, edit, create, select. File, edit, create, select. View, shading, lighting, show. View, shading, lighting, show. Edit, view, select curves. If I hover over there and hold spacebar, edit view, select curves. And then you've got all your other menus, your modeling menu, your rigging menu, your animation menu, your VFX menu, your lighting menu. All of it is right there in one spot, which means I don't need to see these. So to turn these off, you can hit Control M, Shift M, and if you want to, you can hit Control Shift M to hide the menu here in the viewport. Like I said earlier, I tend to use that one quite a bit, specifically for the camera controls right here, but I really don't need to see the lighting, the anti-aliasing, don't need to see that. All of this don't need to see, so there's that little line, you can just collapse them down. And there we go. Now we just see the controls we just need, and in this viewport, since I know that I'm not gonna turn on the grid or anything else, I can even collapse that one. And there we go. So the Maya interface, which was super complex, now becomes this. We've got a few buttons here, a few buttons here, a few buttons in the graph editor, which if you wanted to, you could always go to your graph editor, go to view, and then simple toolbar. And that gets rid of even more keys right here. And it just kind of simplifies it, gets rid of some of the extra stuff you don't really need to see all the time. You could do that. Personally, I wouldn't do that because it gets rid of the buffer curves, which is something I like to use. So if it kept the buffer curves, then yes, I would go for it, but I like these two buttons. Now, I could always just go to curves, buffer curve right here. Like, it's a few more clicks, but for the amount that I use buffer curves, it's easier just to have them accessible right there. Yes, and exactly, that's it, Lucas. This is so much less intimidating. Now, when you look at Maya, it just feels like a cool piece of animation software that I can just jump right in and like have fun with, versus this like, oh my god, what do I touch? What am I gonna break something? What are all these menus? Why are all there's these colored buttons and like oranges and whites and or like greens, and which one's correct? And there's purple here. Why? Now it's just nice and clean, and I still have access to everything. If anything, I can work faster because everything is right here at my fingertips. So very nice. The UI looks like there's an animate button somewhere. Exactly. Now, a nice thing with this is once you set up your UI, what you can do is go to, now I forget exactly where it is here. Yeah, workspaces. So Windows workspaces, and you can save this. So I'm going to save my current workspace as, let's call it Bow Custom. Hit OK. Now, if ever I need to reset Maya, I can go to Window, Workspaces, go to Maya Classic, and then when I want to go back, so let's do that, Maya Classic, there we go, everything comes in. You'll notice the menus don't come back. You have to activate those yourself, so Control M, Shift M, Control Shift M. But when I want to go back, just boop, there we go. Now I've got my animation layout. I could have even called it that, animation.